Hi guys, how are you? Welcome to my channel. So today I'm wanting to sketch it in with my black pen and then add some colours. Now I can't seem to get my TV to connect to my iPad, so I'm hoping if I just leave it in that position I won't drop out of focus. So we'll see how we go, which probably will be pretty easy because I'm not doing needlework, so should be reasonably easy. Now I've let this sit for a few days just looking at it to make sure I was happy with everything, and there's nothing I want to change. I did think again about how I'd get a bud up here, but I'm just going to leave well enough alone. You know, when you start fiddling too much, you run the risk of, making a mess of things. So what I'm going to do now is using a permanent pen, and I've picked number 4. It's not too fine, not too thick, and I'm just going to sketch in my lines and not being too solid, because I sort of want that floaty feel about it. And then I've been thinking a little bit about the colour, and I'm thinking I will do reds into the pinks is my selected colour. But I guess once I get the paints out, I guess that's when I'll make the final decision, because I haven't yet pulled the watercolours out to see the little samples that we did. But I'm thinking, red rose. It'd have to be a red rose, wouldn't it? Well, it doesn't have to be, but I'm drawn to a red rose. Okay, so it's just about a hint of sketch, sort of that, make it look artistic, lightly drawing lines. Okay, got to get our thorns in. I think the thorns tell the story, if anyone's in doubt. I'm pretty happy with it. I showed a few people too, and they're like, yep, that looks like what you're thinking it should look like, which is always good. I don't know why I doubt myself, but you know what it's like. When it's your own work, you tend to overthink it. I think everyone does that, but it's all good. I love how you can just iron your lines away and still have a play with fabric and paint, but your prep is, easily done, because we can make the lines disappear using a heat soluble pen. So let me just get these few straight lines in, and then we'll tackle that flower. I certainly won't be rushing out to do another rose. She's a challenge, and that's a bit thin there. That's all right. Hopefully I'm still on camera. Yeah. I usually do this process straight after I draw it in video 1, but I just wanted that little bit of time to look at it and make sure that everything was in order. I've drawn a solid line there. Are we going behind, I think? Whether all these leaves actually represent rose leaves could be debated with a botanist, but they look like it to me, and it will be just fine. I just want to get stitching. Enough thinking about drawing. There we go. I figured I'll pause the video once I get it sketched and then set up my paints. I just don't want to run the risk of having too much out, and I'll need to iron it as well. If I pull that down, am I still okay? Yep. Okay, here we go. Let's get this little turned up petal first. It seems to anchor the whole thing. I reckon it's the, okay. And then the base will appear underneath. Then we've got the bud, the little strappy leaves, and here we go. These big elephant-like ears. I'm just going to stay true to my sketch. Don't mess around, girl, just I was just wondering about that wriggly bit there. Yep, that's all right. Sometimes when I get to areas like here, do I continue the line for the little crinkled up bit of the petal, or stay true to the shadowy line that's underneath the crinked up petal? But I am so overthinking it. And of course, on cue, here comes the fudge. So I was just in the lounge room doing a bit of tidying up, and he was observing, wishful thinking, and now he's gone outside for a sit in the sun, and he's just come back in to go, "Where are you, Mum?" Probably thinking, concentrate, girl. He's probably thinking that there was a bit of lap time, possibly. I'm probably overthinking this, but you know how it is. That's it, like that. Like, it's really, you know, once you get stitching, and I think we've done it. A couple thorns. Okay, yeah. Oh, there's a line there I haven't yet got. Yep. Okay, that's it. So what I'll do is fire up the iron. So we're finished with the black pen stage, and we can now, we need our hoop, but not yet. We've got to paint. There's a brush, pencils. All right, let's pop that away. I'll get some water in a moment. I might have to make sure Mr. Fudge is not around. Might just have a quick look at colours. I've got poppy red, but I don't know. Let's have a look at this one. I'm so pleased I did a little sampler on fabric before we started. It has really helped. Sort of don't mind that colour. It should be that. So maybe we're going to go more pink. Maybe I use then a deeper red to get into the throat of it. We go more of a pinky tone. Okay, where's that other little paint set? Maybe there's a colour in the Windsor. How's that open? That red there. I might get a little sample of fabric and just have a little play before I commit to all of that, because yeah, I just want to make sure. I'm just moving some stuff out of the way. So yeah, I just want to make sure that it's absolutely perfect. So what I'll do is I'll pause the video and I'll just turn on the iron and get some water and some paper towel, and we'll see how we go. All right, back in a moment, guys. Okay, guys, I'm back. So I've just got my iron warmed up. And I'm just going to take away my lines, and Fudgy's just I shut the door because he was hovering. Yes, pussy. And I've shut it, and he's just pushed the door open. What could possibly go wrong? What does Fudge always turn up when it's time to paint? I might just get rid of that iron and unplug it. Fudgy, how about you go back outside, son? Come on, outside. I don't trust you. You're a loose cannon, boy. He knows how to push the doors open. Oh, he makes me nervous when I'm painting. I think one of the very early videos I filmed for this project up at Barham, and he jumped up on the table. Oh, my heart skipped a beat. Okay, I'm just going to pop that under there. So if anything gets really wet on me, I can, yeah, just do a bit of absorbing. Now, let's grab a little bit of fabric. That iron's off. Maybe we just move that over for a minute. Let's have a little play, guys. I want to explore. I quickly grab these two. I sort of feel like that's where I'm aiming. So whether the paints that I have, whether they are too washed out, well, washed out, so then I use the thread to get me darker on cue, or I can get something a bit darker. Oh, see, that's good. Gosh, I need to put a little bit of darkness into this sample so I don't eliminate a colour, because I'm thinking that it's, you know, too light. Yeah, that's better. That's the colour we want. And then those threads will work a treat. Okay, let's do it. Now, what are we doing? We're going to do highlights of the paint, or are we going to do whole petals? I don't know. Just start smearing some paint around. See, it always reacts a little bit differently when your fabric is completely different to your test, but I know we're on the right track. Let's get a bit of moisture in there so it bleeds and drifts. I'm starting in the middle because I'm thinking if it gets crazy on me and drifts around, we can still control it. I want it fairly soft, but down in these creases we can get a little bit heavier. I'm not going to paint the whole rose, I don't think. I'm going to sort of do as I've done before and put a hint of paint, a hint of stitch. Well, that's the plan anyway. Who knows? 20 minutes from now we'll know how it all worked out, won't we? I might leave that and come into here now. Start dropping in a bit of, want that quite deep and intense in there. Okay, If you're unsure, less is more. I can hear an old art teacher that I had in secondary school. Oh, I loved that class. She was so cool too. You know those art teachers that are funky. And I'm just a kid from the farm, and I just see her clothing and, you know, just, she was just what you'd imagine as a classic art teacher. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to go down to the bud and just let that sit for a moment. If I puddle around too much. Yeah, she was a really cool lady and so encouraging. I only got to do art as a subject when I went to a bigger school, and that was like 11 and 12 in the next town, because my hometown school that I started kindy at was only went to 10, and the closest I got was home economics. Oh, I like that. And then stitch in there and drift a bit of stitch out. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so that's given me the confidence to sprinkle a little bit of soft red around these edges. Just drifting ever so lightly. Okay, just sort of highlighting some of these lines. Probably doesn't hurt, because if I decide not to do stitching there, at least I've got a little drop of colour already there. Oh, those pair. Life is good, I tell you, when you're a dog at McEwen Manor. So I'm filming this ahead of time, so my month of April is going to be pretty busy, so you might be watching more current videos like the Roxy projects and have a better feel for where I am and what's all happening. But at the moment I'm in Brisbane, and I thought I better get in and do a little bit of filming. It'll take a bit of pressure off me, and I like to know the projects are in the can, so to speak. That's the professional talk for Hollywood, you see. That's a wrap. It's in the can. Yeah, I'm happy with that. How's it look in the camera? I can't see because there's a clamp holding right over the rose. That's all right. It looks good to me. Is this little guy... Oh, I could probably move up, hey. I just want to put a little bit of colour on this little fellow. But not too much, because he'd be great to do a bit of stitching. We'll see how we go. The thing about watercolour is you start off gentle, you know, and you build up. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'm not going to push it. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm thinking that's enough red, and then where's my cotton? I'll come back in with those to just really, you know, pop it up a little bit. It should be a pretty simple stitch. And I just glanced over here at this green. Now, I grabbed the greens too. There's my threads. Might just have a little play. Gee, the other paints I've used previously have been Inktense and this cheap set. the cheap set is the opaque ones that Fleur Woods uses. And I got myself a set. I think they're like $14 or something, just from a kids toy shop type place. I'm really impressed with them. I can see why she highly recommends them. It's probably, I don't know if you can see that, it's a little bit fresh, yet it dries so neutral out there, yet it's fresh there. See, it's too green, it's too froggy green. All right, so we're not going to use that green. I know there's better ones. Let's have a little look in here again. Come on, open up. Oh, I can't decide if I broke that on day one. I don't think so. It's just difficult. That's it, gouache paints. Really, really cool. So, the only thing is, the green's very blue. I'd have to mix something in to push it back a bit. And I just don't know. Let's have a little look at the Inktense, because leaf green, that one there, he is a cracker. Now, what are we going to do with him? Come on out. Yeah, that's the one. So it's just a better tone for all of that. Let's get the red off the paintbrush. Let's get some more paper towel down before the girl makes a hang of a mess. And what I'm going to do, because I just want a light wash, I'm going to pick up the colour. I got the right one. No, I don't. Goodness me, what's that one called? Mustard. We want leaf green. What made me pick that one up? That was a close call. Leaf green. Mustard would work. Like, I'm not too concerned about that, but boy, oh boy, imagine if that had been purple. The girl would have been a little disappointed about now. That's it. Just a little bit of a smear of the green. That's technical speak. I know I can rely on my stitch. I can fix anything with needle and thread. Paint, a little cautious. That's good. So I'm just dampening it a little. That mustard looks really good on it. Not that I don't think rose petals have those sorts of tones through them. So it's not, you know, it does look artistic, but so once this dries off, I will come back next week and we will start applying stitch. I have got a few colours already pre-selected because I've had to pack up my craft room and my big stand that holds them all. Well, these type are in Perspex containers on a stand that I pinched from one of my shops. It used to hold these boxed decorations, so like very special boxed type decorations. So, and I spotted it in one of the back rooms and I said to the manager, I said, oh, are you using that? Because they had a couple. No. And we don't sell those decorations anymore. And the stores use it to hold Christmas napkins because it's the perfect size to stand up a range of napkins. It's an upright stand, so it doesn't take much of a footprint up on the store. And they were bringing them up around the counter area to have some napkins, because if, you know, customers are at the counter and someone says, oh, do you sell napkins? The staff didn't have to go far and they could direct the customer to them. But the one store had a spare, so I pinched it. Should have seen Gaz when I wheeled it out to the van. I said, I'm taking this home. I'm going to put my threads in it. So, right. And then I had to get some I'm going quiet because I'm concentrating. I had to get some of the Perspex boxes from Officeworks. That is green there, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I had to get all the little Perspex boxes. That unfortunately cost a bomb. But I just chipped away at it and got a few here and there, and now it holds my threads. So it's packed up and has had to go up to the other house because the room I'm in, I'm sure this is old news because, you know, I'm filming around Easter and you guys are probably right up to speed on what's happening through the month of April and getting the place ready. So I do apologise, but my craft room, we're hoping to turn it into a bit of a rumpus looking room because that's technically what it should be. I'd pop a couch in here and make it look like the lads are watching football or the kids are playing PlayStation, you know, sell the dream. So my little stand had to go. I think I'm just sort of following the veins here of these leaves. I'm not. Am I still on camera? Oh, I hope so, yep. So I quickly grabbed what I thought I might need for this. But I did grab some pinks as well as the reds because I just wasn't sure how these paints would perform. And I like pink roses as much as red roses, and this flower here was sort of setting the mood for me with the pink magenta tones. This is the way to do it. I like taking the paint. In the beginning, I was using that straight onto the fabric, and it was hard to moderate the weight of which I should put the, you know, the pencil down to the fabric. And then I could see the lines of where I'd been scratching around with this pencil. So then I was like, well, I have to add more water to get it to dissolve. And then it started really bleeding. And then someone suggested in the comments that they, well, didn't suggest, they said that when they do it, they take from the pencil. And oh, wasn't that a genius move? I think a few of you actually said it. So thank you, thank you. This is just really good because I can control it better. I can go light, I can go dark, I can just sort of skip around. Really, really cool. Easy, easy, easy. So if you haven't got yourself some Inktense pencils, I got mine at Officeworks, Girls in Australia. That's a big stationery conglomerate that's in this country. But they're online there, you know, and there's really big packs But I just bought a medium-sized pack, I think. How many pencils is in it? 30, no, that's the other one. 24. I believe there was a 12 pack as well. And then it went bigger again. I thought, oh, I'll never use all those colours. So far, really happy with them. And I tell you, they're going to last me a lifetime. Especially at the rate I'm using them here. Are you in camera there? Yeah, just. I don't want to move it because everything's damp. So I don't want to jigger it up. So if you haven't, well, if you have access to Facebook and you haven't joined up our little Facebook group, I encourage you to come over because we really love seeing lilies and the pansies. Like, it's been so cute to see everything. It's just great. Some very clever ways of interpreting the prompt because there's no set you know, criteria with this. It's however you want. Susanna's searching high and low for fabrics that match the prompt and then collaging the piece together. And I really wanted to force myself to do a little bit of this type of work instead of my usual. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It really is pushing me. But that's good, isn't it? Doesn't hurt to have a bit of, you know, something a little bit hard. Oh, I could do this all day. But one must not get carried away because it's watercolour. And the trick to watercolour is less is more. A bit of shadow behind there. Let's get a bit arty. Come on. As a nod to the teacher. I did listen, even though I was talking so much in the class. But it was more primary school. I think I felt that primary school was just too slow of pace for me. You know, you're sitting in the one classroom all day. Sort of got a bit distracted pretty easily. Hence the Corrine needs to focus on my report card, and she talks an awful lot. If only she'd just focus. But when I got to senior and you're changing your class every, I don't know, what was it, 50 minutes? Or maybe it was a bit longer. My memory is about an hour. I love that because you sort of recap on what you did the previous class, you have some form of discussion, and then there's an outline of the homework to come, and boom, you're out the door. And I liked that because then there was that social contact as you're all scooting to the next class, and then you're in on the next subject. So it was right up my alley. And I guess by then you're a young adult, so you can sort of pick up on social cues a little better that, you know, you should just shut up and listen. When you're a kid and you're little, you got no clue at, you know, the teacher's face is starting to give you that grimace look because you're yibby-yabbering. And this YouTube, it suits me because you lot can't talk back to me. So I can just yibby-yab away and I'm happy. And if you guys are sick of listening to me, you just move on, which is great because I don't know you've left the conversation. So it's fantastic. I don't know if you're sick of me or not. Gotta love it. I think that's it. I think I'm just dabbling here. And if I do any more, Gosh, I hope that's all seen by you guys. Don't know why my little Apple TV's not connecting to my phone today. Must be a bit of a internet issue. All right, I think that's it, guys. We've got a nice dark stem. Made a hang of a mess of my pencil, but anyway, that's all good. Here we go. And then I'll chase that colour. I won't use those lighter ones. I'll keep it moody. That's good. I have another Sue Spargo one out too, but gosh, that's very similar. Yeah. And then the pinks, I'll start with these and then see, you know, where it goes from there. It should be quite a simple process. Let's clean this mess up here and get rid of this water before there's a major catastrophe. Why have I got a ring of red paint on my desk? How did that happen? Oh, goodness me. That's surprising. Well, not really. All right, these need to dry. So let's just, see that Shiraz probably would have worked too if I wanted a more of a burgundy tone, but I think I'm okay with this. It's really good. All right. Everything's out of the way, everything can dry. Let's have a look at the clock. Oh, okay, so we've only gone about 30 odd minutes. Well, I might pause the video, let this dry, and then come back and we'll have a little play with the, so it really needs to dry properly. Don't rush it, girl. Yeah. We'll let it sit for an hour or so, and I'll come back and we might have a play with some stitching in there. All right, guys, I'll pause it and be back in a moment. Hi, guys, I'm back. So about an hour has gone by. So I'm thinking it's probably still a little damp to be too, you know, heavy with my stitching. But I thought what I might do is do a little bit of outlining. And I think that'll set the mood for the piece. So I'm going to pop it in my hoop. I'm using a hoop for all of the flowers because if I'm doing an intense thread painting, I want my fabric to sit nicely for me. There's nothing worse than you do some weaving, for example, and your fabric then crimples all up. So when I'm doing pretty heavy stitching, I like to bring out the hoop. So the plan is to have a bit of a play with these threads. And I'm thinking, I might go this finer one. And do a little bit of, I don't know what the word would be, but maybe shadow stitching. So I've got a line, I've got a splash of colour. So I just want to have a little play with maybe, I don't know, a split back stitch. So where you come back up into that stitch previous and split it with your needle. I like that stitch because if you just do running stitch, I see the hole where my needle went in, and I just sort of always feel like it's a bit, I don't know, childlike stitching. It sort of reminds me of what I used to do as a kid, just simple running stitch or simple back stitch. Not running stitch, back stitch. So I like to split the stitch that I'm going back to. When I discovered that little detail, I think it was with Jennifer Clouston, I was like, ah, genius. I think this will give me some little raised ridges too on our flower. then I've got to decide how much stitching I do from that point. So my homework is going to be get some outlining done, because I want this rose to feel a little bit ethereal, floaty. Remember, my inspiration is from the Fleur Woods book, and the tablecloth that she inherited from, I think it was her grandmother or great-grandmother. That tablecloth is like a soft green, and there's stitching on it, but it's just the one flower, and it just looks so beautiful. I don't know if I've got Fleur's book here to show you the one. And as soon as I saw that in that book, I'm like, oh, Grandma Fleur, that's the one. That's where the whole idea of this project come from. And it made me think about actually using a tablecloth. And then when I saw this one with a little bit of embroidery already on it, I'm like, well, we're going to go there. Yeah, I think this will work. It'll just, I think, make these petals feel like they're a little bit lacy too, by having this raised little edge scooting around. And then in behind it is the little wash of red. Pretty sure that Fleur book is just over there. It was one of the books I kept back because it's just so beautiful. You would have seen it with the Roxy girls because they did their Fleur course. And it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous book. So if you haven't got it, I'd highly recommend it because it's just full of inspiration for you. And I guess it's going to give you confidence too with needle and thread. Like, Fleur is brave. She is just really, really clever at what she does. And if you're wanting a bit of support, it's a great book to have as, okay, I see why you did that, because it's made that flower pop a little bit. I'll do a little bit more stitching here. Yeah, this is going to work a treat. We want that real red rose feel, don't we? But I didn't want a big red blob. Technical speech for Corrine added too much paint. Now she's added stitch, and now it's a big red blob. Just break your lines up too a little bit. Let the light bounce around. Don't totally draw in your, if you're doing it this way, don't totally draw in your rose. Then it starts to look like something I would have done in grade 8, where I literally, every line was coloured in. Sort of, if you look at these watercolour artists that then go back with a black pen or go back with pastels, there's more of a light touch applied to it. I think when you get that light bulb moment and you see that, it'll take your work to the next level. I might just scoot down into there. That was barely a stitch, didn't even leave us a mark. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. Gosh, this is going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy sitting and doing a bit of stitching after this. Lovely. That's what you want. I'm going to stay connected to the line. I'm just going to go right down into there, because my feeling is that I will get quite dense in there with stitching. As for weaving, I have to have a little think. I might do a bit of weaving in this little guy. Oh, that'd be perfect to weave, but then I get rid of my red paint, wouldn't I? Oh, you can't have it all, girl. Oh, yep. I might just, I've only got a little bit of thread left, so I'm going to come out on this guy. Just stay focused on outlining, Corrine. So already I want to do a few strokes of my needle through there, which I'm pretty sure I will do, but outline, that's my homework. And next week we'll have a look at getting a little bit braver and putting some more stitches into a few key places. I had a feeling too we've got 5 Mondays in this month. Would that be right? I think we do. Plenty of time. Some of these pieces I don't like to rush because you're trying to make it look like something that actually exists. It's like, does it look like an elephant? Well, sort of. Oh, so I got to come down here and do a couple stitches. That little jutted out bit there I think needs to be highlighted. All right, thread's getting small. All right, I'm feeling confident that that little guy is going to work a treat, and I'll just keep outlining, trying not to go on the black, trying to still show the paint. How long have we been going? 9 minutes. I'm going to grab that book if it's here. Just bear with me, guys. Where's my Fleur Woods? I don't think it is here. I think, yeah, it has gone to Barham. What a shame. What a shame. So it's going to be another phone call to Gaz and say, Gaz, can you bring back? And he's going to like, we're supposed to be sending stuff up to the house. Like, why do you keep asking me to bring back stuff? Isn't that the way? We've got a little bit more time. Let's have another little stitch. See, I wonder if I could, no, leave it. I just was attracted by a piece of lace and it's not even red, like, seriously? Stay focused. Alrighty, let's get ourselves in there again. I'm thinking I might start there. I'm feeling like I'm going to stay on the inside of the black lines. So the black line is the outside. So every stitch that I place will be to the inside of my line. Not on it, just slight, well, next to it. Yeah, that's the way I'm not going to lose the integrity of that sketched look. I had a glance at what next month's prompt is, and it's Susanna's pick this time, and it's going to be fun. I think it's easier than this rose, but it's got a distinct shape. Susanna will be watching this going, Corrine, you be very careful with your words because you're going to end up giving them a hint. So all I'll say is it has a distinct shape, and if we don't get that shape right, talking to myself here, it won't look like what it's meant to look like. So there you go. That's all I'm going to say. Gosh, I hope I'm still on camera, guys. Yep, very good. Have to work out what's going on with my internet. I can see the apple box has power. There's a little light on it, but it's sitting on top of the Telstra box, which is providing the connection between, oh, I don't know if this is right, my phone and, or not phone, iPad and the TV, or the apple box. So I have a feeling I might actually need to sort of unplug it and let it power down and then restart it. Isn't that the trick to it all? Before you ring a technician, have you unplugged it, let it sit for a minute? I might try and do that before I start going, it's just not working. There we go. So I'm heading down into that centre, just scattered little stitches. I'm sure I'll get braver down there. But at the moment, I'm happy with that. See how we go. Maybe this will be enough. I don't know. We'll see. So I get this all outlined. Some of those are not split back stitches, but that's all good. I think this is the tone of dark red I used on my cherry blossoms too, which is good because it'll all, you know, the piece will blend. It's be good because we're doing so many different types of flowers that if I'm in a similar palette of threads, it should look cohesive at the end of it, one would think. There you go. I think that's enough in there. It's going to start getting muddy. So I might do this little petal to the side. Such a pretty colour. I don't have the card. I'd be pretty confident it's DMC, but don't think it's Wonderful. Okay, sort of reminds me of the stranded cotton colour that I used to use in red work. It's got that tone about it. There we go. I might just some of these stitches that are down in the throat of that flower need to connect to other stitches coming back down into the throat. It'll help build up the dark tone that is, you know, the shadow in there. I can see a gap between stitches and it doesn't quite look right. It's like, why am I creating light and air down where it's dark? So when I get back down, I need to pop a stitch. You guys probably can't notice it, but you might be able to. It's down there. It's all right being broken and jagged at the top, but this looks weird here. There we go. Okay, so now we can do this guy. Once this thread finishes, I shall say goodbye and leave you guys alone. Go and do a little bit of stitching on my rose. Got a pretty quiet day planned today, which is great. good when you have those rest days. There's no humans coming. It's just interesting. Do I stitch the turned over little edge of that petal or underneath it? I think I'm going to go underneath because this is my dark tone. Maybe that's an opportunity to bring a different colour in. See, there's one there, one there. I could create one up there. And there's one here through the centre of this petal. Yeah, maybe I'll go find a a softer version of this red and sneak a few stitches in. Here we go. Just going to make it to the top of there. Excellent. All right, guys. Well, what an adventure today has been. There we go. Now it's just sit back, relax, and fill in the rows. I might get a couple more stitches out of that. How are we going for time? Oh, you guys aren't going anywhere. It's all good. I think I can get a couple more stitches down this side. I think it just came unthreaded. Yep, it did. That's a sign. Last stitch. Okay. Love it. I'm really happy with that. That's great. If that's not a rose, I'm out, but that's really good. All right, guys, I will, if you're not sure what I'm talking about with that Fleur Woods book, I've got a book review of it somewhere in my playlist. Whenever I pick up a new book, I usually do a bit of a flip through. So if you're unsure, have a look at the book review, but heaps of YouTubers have it now in their hot little hands and are thoroughly enjoying it. So you'll find somewhere, just type in Fleur Woods book and you'll soon see. I'll see if I can convince Gaz that he needs to bring it back to Brisbane to show you guys the piece in one of the photos that I think pretty much, after doing the course with Fleur online, it was one of the inspirational pieces that she just treasures and has sent her on a trajectory of her artistic career. And I can... Excuse me, how rude. And I can see why. It's simple, it's elegant, and it's just like, wow. And it's made many, many years ago. So, yeah, beautiful. I must get a photo for you. All right, guys, I will catch you in the next video, and I'll finish outlining my rows. All right, look after yourselves. Bye.